Tim was just a regular 12-year-old boy who loved to explore and play with his friends. He lived in a small town with his parents and younger sister, and he spent most of his days playing sports and video games with his friends. One day, while playing hide and seek, Tim found himself sneaking around the back of a nearby shopping center. He had always been fascinated by the large green dumpsters that sat behind the stores, and he often wondered what kind of trash and treasures might be hidden inside. As he was about to hide behind a dumpster, he heard a faint whimpering noise. At first, he thought it might be a stray cat or dog, but as he listened more closely, he realized that the sound was coming from a human. Curious, Tim peeked inside the dumpster and was shocked to see a small baby, no older than a few months, lying among the trash and debris. The baby was covered in bruises and looked as though it had been abandoned and left to die. Tim couldn't believe what he was seeing. He knew he had to do something to help the baby, so he carefully picked it up and wrapped it in his shirt. He ran as fast as he could back to his house, where he called the police and told them what had happened. The police arrived at Tim's house within minutes and rushed the baby to the hospital. The doctors were able to stabilize the baby and treat its injuries, but they were concerned about its long-term health and well-being. The baby had a number of broken bones and bruises all over its tiny body, and the doctors couldn't determine how long it had been lying in the dumpster. Tim was hailed as a hero for rescuing the baby, and the story of his bravery made headlines in the local newspaper. The police launched an investigation to find out who had left the baby in the dumpster and why. As it turned out, the baby's mother had been struggling with addiction and had been unable to care for her child. She had left the baby in the dumpster in a moment of desperation, hoping that someone would find it and give it the love and care it needed. The police arrested the mother and charged her with child abuse and neglect. Thanks to Tim's quick thinking and bravery, the baby was placed in foster care and eventually adopted by a loving family. Tim visited the baby often and watched as it grew and flourished under its new parents' care. He was happy to see the baby thriving and growing stronger every day, and he knew that he had made a difference in its life. Tim learned a valuable lesson that day about the importance of helping others and standing up for what is right, no matter how difficult it may seem. He carried this lesson with him for the rest of his life, always striving to be a kind and compassionate person. He told the story of finding the baby in the dumpster to his friends and family many times, and he hoped that it would inspire others to be more compassionate and caring towards those in need. As Tim grew older, he became more and more involved in volunteer work and charitable causes. He knew firsthand the difference that a kind act could make in someone's life, and he wanted to do everything he could to make the world a better place. He dedicated himself to helping others and making a positive impact on the world, and he knew that the memory of finding the baby in the dumpster would always stay with him and guide him in his efforts to help others. Tim's parents were proud of the young man their son had become, and they supported his efforts wholeheartedly. They knew that he had a big heart and a strong sense of justice, and they were confident that he would make a positive impact on the world. As the years passed, Tim continued to volunteer and do good deeds for others. He became involved in various charitable organizations and worked tirelessly to make a difference in the lives of those in need. He never forgot about the baby he had found in the dumpster, and he often thought about the impact that one small act of kindness had had on so many people. Tim knew that he had been given a second chance to make a difference in the world, and he was determined to make the most of it. He worked hard to be a role model for others, showing them that it was possible to make a positive impact on the world no matter how young or small you were. And as he looked back on his life, Tim knew that he had made a difference. He had touched the lives of countless people and had inspired others to do the same. He was proud of the man he had become and knew that he had made the world a better place, just as he had always hoped to do. Tim's parents were equally proud of their son and the impact he had had on the world. They were grateful for the strong values and morals that they had instilled in him, and they knew that he would continue to make a difference for many years to come. As Tim approached adulthood, he knew that he wanted to continue his work in charitable causes and help those in need. He became more involved in social justice issues and worked to raise awareness about important issues such as homelessness, hunger, and healthcare access. Tim knew that he had been given a unique opportunity to make a difference in the world, and he was determined to use it to the fullest. He worked tirelessly to help others and to make the world a better place, and he knew that his efforts were making a real impact. As he looked back on the day he found the baby in the dumpster, Tim knew that it had been a turning point in his life. It had taught him the importance of compassion and kindness, and it had inspired him to make a difference in the world. And as he continued his work to help others, he knew that he would always be grateful for the chance to make a positive impact on the world.